atmosphere of our abandoned community center. I tried to spread some laughter by cracking one of big dreams in a small package. Begully's eyes widened in excitement as he spotted a mysterious room hidden behind an old bookshelf. He eagerly gestured his friends towards it, exclaiming, "Hey guys, look over here. There seems to be another hidden chamber." His energy and enthusiasm were contagious as they all ventured cautiously into the unknown. "Pump it up."
Friday, eager for a new thrill, drew her sword with a flourish, exclaiming dramatically, "Feather flow yoga isn't enough. We need some real adventure." As they entered the mysterious room, an eerie whisper echoed through the darkness. Friday's heart pounded in anticipation. "Pas de problème."
Habito's eyes lit up with curiosity as he heard Friday's exclamation and felt the rush of adrenaline. He slowed down his motorcycle engine, a familiar purr that was music to their ears, and gestured for them all to follow him into the room. As they stepped inside, Habito let out an excited whoop, adding more fuel to Begully's already burning curiosity. The old bookshelf had hidden a small entrance leading to an underground passage, which snaked around like a labyrinthine echo of the community center above. Without wasting any time, Habito revved up his engine again and led them into the unknown depths. The walls echoed with their entry as they rode through the dark corridors on modified motorcycles that could handle both rough terrain and spectral obstacles. Friday felt her heart race in anticipation, while Begully gripped his bike tighter, a mix of excitement and nervousness playing across his face. Dean's snowboarding skills were put to use here too, carving his way through tight corners with ease. Meanwhile, Habito led them effortlessly into the unknown labyrinth, weaving tales from the open road about how he'd once outrun a storm on his motorbike by riding along a lightning bolt. His exaggerated stories of daring adventures and supernatural encounters had their audience hooked even as they navigated the twists and turns beneath the abandoned community center.
As they rode deeper into the dark labyrinth under the project's abandoned community center, Friday's heart raced with anticipation. She struck a dramatic pose on her modified motorcycle and exclaimed, "Feather flow yoga, adventure." Her friends followed suit, their bike engines revving in syncopation with their shared excitement. The shadowy walls of the old building echoed as they rode through tight corners and dodged spectral obstacles that seemed to dance eerily out of reach.
As Begully navigated his bike through the twisting corridors beneath the abandoned community center, he couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement mixed with nervousness wash over him. His friends' laughter and exclamations filled the air, Dean carving through tight corners effortlessly on his snowboard, Friday striking dramatic poses on her motorcycle, and Habito regaling them all with tales of daring adventure from the open road. As they rode deeper into the dark labyrinth, Begully spotted an old, dusty bookshelf to one side. His curiosity piqued. He'd always had a fascination for forgotten knowledge hidden in unexpected places. He steered his bike towards it, ignoring the spectral obstacles dancing just out of reach behind him.
As Begully approached the bookshelf, he noticed an old entrance leading into a passage that seemed to echo with stories from forgotten times. His bike engines roared in syncopation with his newfound enthusiasm as he led the gang deeper into this labyrinthine maze beneath their neighborhood's abandoned community center. With each corner they took, Dean used his snowboarding skills and cool attitude to ease the tension amidst the twisting corridors and spectral obstacles that threatened to shake them up from their thrilling adventure. Zen mode is snowboarding.
Friday watched as Begully steered his bike towards the bookshelf. She couldn't help but feel a rush of anticipation in her heart at the thought of uncovering long-forgotten secrets buried deep within this haunted place. Her motorcycle engine roared like a rallying cry, urging them all onward on their quest for answers.
Dean, as they ventured further into the labyrinthine passage, I couldn't help but feel that familiar rush of adrenaline course through me. My snowboarding skills had always been a source of comfort during uncertainty, like now, navigating these twisting corridors filled with spectral obstacles. But it wasn't just about conquering fears or skiing down snowy slopes. It was also about the thrill of the chase, seeking out adventure and facing whatever came our way. And as we went deeper into this mysterious maze beneath the abandoned community center, I knew that my snowboard would be our key to unlocking these secrets hidden in the shadowy corners of the projects.
As they approached a chamber at the end of the passage, I couldn't help but think about my old mentor from Mongolia, Thiknk. He taught me how to embrace life's twists and turns with courage and humor. And just like he would, I began to share exaggerated tales of my biking escapades, hoping to lighten the mood for our friends. Bigali, as Habito regaled us with his wild motorbike stories, I couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and nervousness as we faced the mysterious chamber ahead. But then again, this was just another adventure in an already thrilling night. So why not dive into the unknown? As they pushed through the door, their bikes' engines roaring in unison with their collective bravery, they were greeted by
The room was dark and musty, but it pulsed with an energy that could only be described as otherworldly. The group's eyes widened in anticipation as they stepped inside, their bike lights casting eerie shadows on the cracked walls around them. Dean, feeling a rush of adrenaline course through his veins at the sight, let out his signature snow joke, "Why don't snowboards ever get lost? Because they always stick to the slopes." His sense of humor did not go unnoticed by Friday and Bigali. It helped ease the tension in their usually nerve-wracking situations. The friends pressed on further into what seemed like a labyrinth, with each passage echoing time past and secrets untold. Their excitement grew as they came across a room full of colorful snowboards, some shaped like pizzas or carrots. Dean's eyes lit up. This was something he'd been hoping for all along, an adventure that combined his love for the chill spot and exploring mysterious places. As they continued deeper into the abandoned community center, each twist in the road revealed new obstacles to conquer, from modified motorcycles racing down slippery slopes to shadowy figures lurking around every corner. But with their newfound camaraderie driving them forward, these fearsome challenges only served to fuel their enthusiasm even more. Catch you on the frost side.
Bigali couldn't help but grin at Dean's excitement over the snowboards. "Work hard, snack hard," he exclaimed, already picturing himself cruising down snowy slopes on a board shaped like pizza. With that thought, his energy surged even higher, and he led the group with renewed vigor into the next dark corridor of the labyrinthine community center.
Friday couldn't help but feel a rush of anticipation in her heart at the sight of those colorful snowboards. She let out an excited exclamation, "Feather flow yoga calls for these." As she picked up one shaped like a carrot, she imagined herself slicing through the snowy terrain with grace and finesse. With that thought, she led her friends into the next passage filled with echoes from forgotten times and secrets waiting to be uncovered.
Bigali's eyes widened in excitement as he spotted a bookshelf filled with old community newsletters and photographs documenting the project's past. He eagerly grabbed one of the dusty photo albums and began flipping through its pages, revealing long-forgotten memories buried within the crumbling pages. With great enthusiasm, he shared tales of local legends and adventures that had become mere whispers in time, stories that his friends found themselves enthralled by as they ventured deeper into the mysterious building. Zen out, then max out.
As Dean watched his friends excitedly peruse the old photos and newsletters, he couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia wash over him. He thought about how these memories could be a key to unlocking the dark secrets that haunted this place. With his snowboarding skills in mind, he approached the bookshelf and began scanning through its contents as well. As he flipped through pages filled with grainy images and faded newspaper clippings, one image caught his eye. It was an old photograph of the community center during its heyday, bustling with life and energy. The sight of people laughing and playing brought a nostalgic smile to Dean's face. He felt inspired by their spirit of camaraderie back then. With renewed determination, he shared this photo with his friends and encouraged them to keep exploring in search of more clues to the past. Little did they know that their journey would lead them not only to uncover secrets but also strengthen the bond between them as a group.
With curiosity piqued and excitement growing, Friday stepped closer to inspect the old photograph with Dean. Her heart raced at the sight of people having fun in what was once their community hub. "Ah, look at those faces. Can't you just feel their joy?" she exclaimed, pointing at the picture. Dean nodded in agreement, feeling a connection with his newfound friends as they delved deeper into uncovering this haunted past together.
Feeling energized by their discoveries and intrigued by the dark history of the projects, Begully couldn't help but let out an excited whoop. He grabbed his bike and joined Friday, Habito, and Dean on their thrilling adventure through the shadowy corners of the abandoned community center. As they pedaled through twisting corridors filled with echoes of a forgotten time, he marveled at how this labyrinthine maze beneath the project's crumbling walls had become the stage for their daring quest to uncover its secrets.
As they ventured deeper into the abandoned community center, Habito couldn't help but feel a rush of adrenaline course through his veins at the prospect of what lay ahead. He shared an excited whoop with Begully and reveled in their adventurous spirit. Gripping his motorcycle's handles, he led the group further down one of many twisting corridors. The flickering lights cast long shadows on the walls as they navigated past old trophies and forgotten memories, each relic a testament to this place's once vibrant life. With every turn, Habito spun tales of daring escapades and heart-stopping near-misses from his time riding the open road, all with an air of humor that kept everyone's spirits high. Suddenly, their headlamps picked up on something peculiar, a bookshelf positioned in the middle of the passage. Intrigued by this strange sight, they approached cautiously. As it turned out, one of the shelves held several tattered newsletters and photo albums from back when the community was thriving. Wind in my fur, peace in my heart.
Begully's eyes gleamed with excitement as he sifted through the crumbling pages filled with memories of a time long gone. He couldn't help but chuckle at some of the photos, people smiling and laughing, their energy palpable in every shot. "Hey guys! Check this out!" Begully exclaimed, pointing to an old newspaper clipping depicting a group of local athletes performing awe-inspiring feats on modified motorcycles. "This must have been before our time." The friends gathered around as Dean revved the engine on his snowboard, the sound echoing through the passage. They shared stories and laughter, feeling a newfound camaraderie among them. As they continued deeper into the labyrinthine community center, their headlamps illuminated cracked walls and twisting corridors beneath the abandoned structure. Despite the eerie atmosphere, there was an air of excitement that charged each member as if they were on some daring quest to uncover secrets from this place's heyday. And so it went one surprising discovery after another until they finally stumbled upon a door at the end of the passage. With bated breath, they pushed it open to reveal a small chamber bathed in an ethereal glow. There, standing at the center of the room, was none other than Thiknk himself. Dressed in full Mongolian regalia and gripping a long staff adorned with intricate carvings, he seemed as alive as any of them, though they could not fathom how or why this ghostly figure appeared before them. "Ah, you must be the brave souls who have dared to venture into our forgotten realm," Thiknk spoke in a voice that carried wisdom and power. "I am but a humble mentor on your journey. Begully's heart raced as he listened to the mysterious apparition recount tales of valiant warriors and fearless riders from ages past, each story more captivating than the last. The group hung on his every word with fascination and awe. Yet in the midst of this supernatural encounter, Begull never lost sight of his love for adventure and humor, a trait that endeared him to his companions just as much now as it did when they were all battling ants back at their Tokyo apartment. "Work hard, snack hard," he quipped with a grin, raising an anticipatory chuckle from the group. And so their journey continued onward into the shadowy corners of this enigmatic realm, where every twist and turn held a new surprise waiting to be discovered.
Habito couldn't help but grin at Begull's humor, his heart warmed by their shared love for adventure and laughter even amid such eerie circumstances. He took a moment to survey their surroundings, the flickering light casting long shadows across the labyrinthine corridors beneath this abandoned structure. "Hey, does anyone have any pizza left?" he called out, still grinning despite the creeping chill in his veins. The others chuckled, some exchanging knowing glances as they dug into their supplies for a well-deserved snack amidst their heart-stopping escapades. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation and excitement, each one of them lost in thought about what lay ahead around this next corner. But there was also an unspoken bond between them, the kind only formed through countless shared experiences on the open road or deep within forgotten corners of ancient places like this. As they rode their motorcycles down that dark passage, Habito couldn't help but hum a tune under his breath before revving up his engine in reply to Dean's excited whoop. "You know what they say," he sang off-tune, throwing a playful wink towards the Mongolia-born daredevil who had earlier spurred them into this thrilling adventure. "Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain."
Feeling the rush of adrenaline course through his veins, Dean grinned widely as he rode his snowboard down the snowy slope. With each curving motion, fresh flakes flew up into the air behind him like a winterized prey. He couldn't help but laugh at Habito's off-key humming. It was that carefree spirit that made their journey so exhilarating. Gravity. More like opportunity.
"Come on, you ant-loving maniacs!" I shouted with a chuckle as we neared the end of the passage. My friends laughed and shook their heads at my antics, but deep down they knew it was all about having fun together. Sliding into a sharp turn, I caught sight of Dean's face lit up in excitement before disappearing through the door at the end of the corridor.
All right, everyone," Dean shouted over the sound of revving motorcycles and laughter echoing in the abandoned structure. "Let's gear up for some pizza runs on these bad boys." He pointed at the colorful snowboards shaped like pizzas that he had collected during their journey. The group eagerly followed him into the labyrinthine community. As they entered a corridor filled with crumbling pages of old newsletters and newspaper clippings, Dean felt a sense of nostalgia wash over him. He called out to his companions to take a moment and appreciate the history of the projects right before them.
Friday took a deep breath, her heart pounding with anticipation. She raised her sword high above her head, striking a dramatic pose in front of an old news clipping. "A warrior must fuel with eclairs," she exclaimed, drawing strength from her beloved pastries. The group's laughter and excitement echoed through the corridor as they ventured deeper into the labyrinthine community, ready for their next adventure together.
Habito couldn't help but grin at Friday's dramatic display. He'd never met such a bold and enthusiastic warrior before. Just then, he spotted an old photograph tucked between pages of a worn-out newsletter. "Hey everyone," he called out, "look at this." The group gathered around as Habito unfolded the yellowed photo. It was from the community's heyday, featuring residents riding modified motorcycles through twisted corridors and down slippery slopes. There were even images of people doing awe-inspiring feats on snowboards. Dean revved his own motorcycle engine in excitement. "All right, everyone," he said, mimicking one of Habito's signature phrases, let's conquer these snowy slopes together." The group whooped with enthusiasm before venturing forth into the depths of the abandoned structure. With each turn and twist they took through the maze-like corridors beneath the projects, their bond grew stronger. They shared stories of past adventures and whispered about what lay ahead. A spirit of camaraderie that reminded them all of why they loved this place so much. And at the center of it all was Habito, carefree spirit extraordinaire, constantly seeking out new challenges to conquer with his fellow adventurers.
Friday couldn't help but join in on their excited chatter about the twists and turns of their journey. "Ah yes, my dears," she drawled dramatically, "each new turn brings us closer to our ultimate conquest." She paused for effect before playfully adding, "And don't forget your eclairs. A warrior must always fuel with pastries."
Dean grinned widely at Friday's playful banter. "That's right, Friday. Always fuel up on those sweet treats and keep our spirits high." With a flourish, he revved his snowboard's engine, a sound that echoed loudly in the labyrinthine community beneath the abandoned structure. As they cruised down a new slope, cutting through fresh powder with abandon, Dean couldn't help but feel invigorated. The cool winter air rushed past him as he performed his signature snowboard dance, complete with funny snow jokes to keep everyone's spirits high even amidst the twists and turns of their adventure.
Bigully flexed his muscles as he rode a scooter around the abandoned structure's corridors beneath Tokyo's projects. "Work hard, snack hard," he cheerfully shouted in Japanese, a phrase that had become infamous among friends during their daring quest for adventure and hidden treasures. As Bigully rounded a corner, an unexpected sight caught his attention: a group of ants carrying crumbs 3 times their size. He couldn't help but guffaw at the absurdity. "Ant battle moves," he joked out loud before challenging them to a miniature workout routine involving raisins instead of weights and popcorn kernels as exercise balls. The group chuckled as they watched Bigully, ant-sized protein shakes in hand, battle with the tiny insects in an impromptu contest. His humor proved infectious, even amidst the twisting corridors under the abandoned structure's maze-like complex. 6 legs, 1 purpose, lift.
Friday paused mid-stride. In front of old cobblestone streets. She scanned her surroundings once more. Then dramatically declared a vow. "From these sun-kissed fields I came. A diva clad in flowing grace. My sword, my shield, my true calling too. No battle or quest shall I flee."
Dean chuckled at the bold declaration and gestured towards the snowy slopes with a grin. "Well then," he drawled, performing his signature snowboard dance, snowboard spinning gracefully in rhythm, "let's take on these peaks together. It'll be one heck of an adventure." He winked as flakes of fresh powder whipped around them, excitement lighting up everyone's faces. Snowboarding is just floating with flair.
Bigul's grin widened at Dean's exhilarating challenge. Channeling his energy into an anticipatory chuckle, he brandished a shaker that could make even ants jealous of its protein content. "Challenge accepted." But first, he announced dramatically, cracking open a packet of popcorn kernels for extra crunch in their ant battle moves. "Mind the gains, and the gains will mind you."
Oh, what a thrilling escapade! Friday cheered, brandishing her sword with vigor. "I can hardly contain my excitement at the prospect of battling those tiny but ferocious foes." Dean and Bigul exchanged grins before they set off on their snowboard-bound journey to conquer the snowy slopes. The cold winter air filled Friday's lungs as she kept up with the daredevil duo, her diva spirit undimmed by the frosty breeze. They descended into a labyrinthine community beneath an abandoned structure in Tokyo's projects district, where they discovered mysterious carvings on cobblestone streets and walls echoing tales of valiant warriors. The unspoken bond among them was palpable as their laughter echoed through shadowy corners, each companion's heart brimming with camaraderie. Their journey led them deeper into the realm, venturing past Thiknk himself. His voice resonated wisdom and power while sharing stories from his heyday. Filled with awe, they pressed onward to uncover more of this hidden world shrouded in intrigue and excitement.
As I guzzled down my anti-iced protein shake, it's a long story, I couldn't help but recall our encounter with Thiknk. His tales of valiant warriors had us on the edge of our seats, and that grin he sported after each yarn was absolutely infectious. It just goes to show you never know what adventures await when exploring these labyrinthine communities beneath abandoned structures in Tokyo's projects district. Right on.
Hibito let out a boisterous laugh, revving his motorcycle for good measure. You bet, Seaton's stories were legendary. I swear that man has lived 1,000 lives, he chortled. Suddenly inspired, Hibito pulled over at the next corner and grabbed a packet of popcorn kernels from his backpack. With an impromptu contest in mind, he tossed it into the air, declaring, "Let's see if these little critters can add some excitement to our exploration."
Watching the snowboarders carve through fresh powder with precision and grace reminded Dean of his carefree spirit back in Switzerland. His heart warmed at the sight of each unique snowboard design, from carrots to pizzas, he'd seen them all. Before diving into another run, he performed his signature snowboard dance, cracking hilarious snow puns that had everyone laughing. As they ventured further into the labyrinthine community beneath Tokyo's projects district, stories from Thiknk echoed in their minds. They marveled at the carvings on cobblestone streets and tales of past battles etched into abandoned structures. An impromptu snowball fight broke out, adding to the joyous atmosphere as they eagerly moved forward.
Friday paused for a moment, sword in hand, dramatically surveying her surroundings. "Ah yes," she proclaimed, eyes wide with excitement, the thrill of adventure. A warrior must fuel on eclairs. She grinned at her fellow adventurers before taking a deep breath and striking an elegant pose. Suddenly inspired by the snowy landscape around them, Friday led everyone in a rousing rendition of Feather Flow, their laughter echoing throughout the labyrinthine community beneath Tokyo's projects district.
Beagle's grin widened at Friday's enthusiastic performance. He pumped his fist in excitement and let out a hearty chuckle. Drawing from his latest protein shake concoction, he grabbed an imaginary scoop of raisins and popcorn kernels before launching into his impromptu contest, the Ant Battle Moves. As the group chuckled at Beagle's absurdity, their laughter echoed through the labyrinthine community beneath Tokyo's projects district. Focus, lift, repeat.
Hibito let out a boisterous laugh that reverberated off the cobblestone walls. He swung his motorcycle's engine around and revved it up in response to Beagle's antics. Riding towards them, he belted out his signature song, the Snowbird Dance, with an exaggerated flourish. As Hibito rode past them, he grabbed a handful of snow from the ground, packing it into a snowball as he chanted Thiknk stories. Laughter and battle cries interwove in his spirited monologue. With an air of defiance and joy, he threw the packed snow at Beagle, who narrowly dodged it with surprising agility. The group's excitement surged again as they cheered Hibito on. As one cohesive unit against adversity, they pushed forward together through Tokyo's projects district, carving a path into its secrets and treasures.
Beagle grinned at Hibito's antics before grabbing his shaker filled with anti-iced protein mix. "Come on guys. Let's conquer this snow-filled terrain and work up an appetite for our famous popcorn-laden powerballs." With a triumphant yell, he initiated their impromptu contest, throwing raisins high into the winter air.
Dean chuckled at Beagle's antics and raised his snowboard in a victorious stance. "Feeling good out here, friends," he exclaimed before launching into his signature snowboard dance. As he spun around on his board, kicking up powder with each turn, the group joined him in laughter and playful banter. Snowway.
Hibito, lost in the thrill of riding his motorcycle along cobblestone streets beneath Tokyo's projects district, couldn't help but break into song. He shared tales of Thiknk and 1,000 lives he'd encountered during his adventuresome travels. The group chuckled at Habito's exaggerated stories as they navigated the labyrinthine community under abandoned structures, with snowboarders carving precision in the powder and everyone else laughing at snow puns. It was quite the spectacle, an unforgettable scene of winter air filled with laughter and exhilaration.
Friday paused mid-monologue, drawn by the merriment echoing around her. She watched in amusement as Bigull performed his impromptu contest, flinging raisins into the air with abandon. Her heart swelled with camaraderie and pride for their group. As she took a deep breath and struck a pose, leading feather flow, she couldn't help but chuckle at Dean's exhilarating antics on his snowboard. Their laughter filled the winter air as they reveled in the thrill of adventure together, painting the snowy landscape with joyful energy. Pastries are my fuel, darling.
Dean grinned as he caught sight of Friday executing her signature move, a feather flow. He loved how she embodied winter with grace and poise. Just then, his ears pricked up at Thiknk's tales from afar, stories of valiant warriors navigating cobblestone streets amid shadowy corners. The thrill of riding snowboards over such a realm had never been more enticing.
Friday listened intently to Thiknk's tales, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She imagined herself and their group navigating those shadowy corners on snowboards, fearlessly conquering any obstacle in their path. With a fierce cry, she launched into an impassioned rendition of the snowbird dance, fueled by the winter air and her love for this intrepid band of adventurers. Swords, drama, and a dash of butter.
Dean let out a hearty chuckle at Friday's performance, his heart swelling with joy. He loved how snowboarding had brought them all together, creating new friendships and forging bonds over shared experiences in this winter wonderland. As he waited for the group to regroup after their impromptu contest, an intense competition of plant battle moves where raisins replaced ants, Dean felt grateful for these moments of camaraderie amidst the biting cold.
Bigull couldn't believe his luck at having found such a thrilling group in Tokyo's projects district. He'd always been passionate about fitness and sports, but it was these crazy snowboarding escapades that truly ignited his spirit. As he watched Friday masterfully pull off her signature move yet again, he felt an immense sense of admiration. Suddenly, an idea struck him like a bolt of lightning. "Hey everyone," he called out excitedly, the energy in his voice matching the frigid crispness of the winter air around them. His friends turned to look at him expectantly as he continued, "I think it's time we take our snowboarding skills to the next level. Let's create a new performance piece based on Thikn's tales." His fellow adventurers stared back at him with varying degrees of surprise and excitement, but Bigull knew they all shared his love for adventure. He could already see the cobblestone streets beneath Tokyo's projects district transformed into an awe-inspiring spectacle, their snowboarding maneuvers flawlessly interwoven to tell a story as electrifying as the original tales from Thiknk. With renewed determination etched on their faces, they agreed to embark on this new creative journey together.
Alright then, Dean cheered with an infectious grin, let's conquer these snow-filled terrains and leave everyone in awe with our performance piece. Thikn's tales have inspired me to create this show-stopping ride. I bet you'll all love it. He winked at his friends, excited by the prospect of new adventures and challenges ahead.
Friday couldn't help but chuckle inwardly at Dean's enthusiasm. "Ah, young love for adventure," she thought with a smile. But then again, who could blame them? The thrill of riding snowboards down snowy landscapes was an intoxicating one indeed. As they approached the labyrinthine communities beneath Tokyo's projects district, Friday took a moment to breathe deeply and strike a pose, her signature move before any adventure. Inhale deeply, she called out to her fellow adventurers, and remember, a warrior must fuel with eclairs. She tossed back her mane of golden hair as they ventured into the heart of this winter wonderland. Friday couldn't help but feel an odd kinship with these creatures, be they snowboarders carving precise patterns in the pristine snow or ants engaging in their ant battle moves. Just like them, she too yearned for excitement and was never one to shy away from a challenge. And so, she resolved to live out her life just as fiercely, painting the snowy landscape with vibrant strokes of exhilaration at every turn. Inhaling deeply once more and posing dramatically for good measure, Friday declared, "Let us explore this labyrinthine community beneath Tokyo's projects district. Who knows what adventures await in these shadowy corners? Come, fellow adventurers, let us conquer together."
Bigull, invigorated by Friday's impassioned speech and fueled by his protein-laden shake, sprinted towards the entrance of the mysterious labyrinthine community beneath Tokyo's projects district. He could barely contain his excitement as he imagined all sorts of wacky snowboarding maneuvers to perform in this new terrain.
Alright, let's go. Dean chapped, his golden mane fluttering in the crisp winter air. He led the group with a smooth glide on his snowboard shaped like a pizza slice. "I heard there are some hidden slopes worth checking out," he added, finishing the sentence with an exaggerated snowbird dance to keep their spirits high for what lay ahead. Snow joke.
Friday couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement course through her veins at Dean's words about hidden slopes beneath Tokyo's projects district. With an air of defiance in her heart, she followed their group towards what promised to be the next great adventure. As they descended into the labyrinthine community, Friday noticed how beautifully the snowy landscape was painted by the play of light and shadows. She recalled Thiknk's stories, tales of valiant warriors overcoming adversities through unity and skillful maneuvers. A hearty chuckle escaped her lips as she imagined Bigull's antics during their journey ahead. He'd probably try to imitate some of those ancient, ant-ized protein mixes into his shake, but she couldn't help but smile at the thought. It was all part of the thrill. With a spirited monologue that interwove laughter and camaraderie, Friday led them onwards, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. This was their realm now, a winter wonderland ripe for exploration. Every swing is a chance to shine.
Bahaha. You guys think this is fun? Just wait till we get to Tokyo's projects district. The labyrinthine community beneath it has more twists and turns than an ant colony. With that, he raised his protein shake in a mock toast before taking a long swig. Now let's conquer this snow-filled terrain with gusto.
Fueled by eclairs and brimming with valor, we'll brave each slope and curve. With poses striking and feather flow yoga to cure, Friday exclaimed dramatically, her golden mane glinting in the winter sun. Picking up speed on their snowboards, they soared towards a new adventure, united amidst the exhilaration of snow-filled terrains and Dean's enthusiasm.
Feeling invigorated by the winter air, I grinned widely at my friends. "Alright everyone. Let's conquer these slopes with style." With that, I launched into a performance piece inspired by Thiknk's tales of valiant warriors navigating snowy landscapes and labyrinthine communities beneath Tokyo's projects district. As we carving through the snow like hot knives on butter, laughter filled the crisp winter air. Even Dean found himself biting back giggles as we regrouped for another run. The spirit of adventure was truly alive in this wintry wonderland.
Bigull could hardly contain his excitement as they approached Tokyo's projects district. "Just wait till you see those hidden slopes worth exploring," he exclaimed, his eyes twinkling with anticipation. As they entered the labyrinthine community beneath the bustling city, Bigull let out a whoop of joy at every twist and turn that mimicked an ant colony. He'd spent days memorizing random ant facts to share with his friends. This was all part of his mission, to spread enthusiasm for fitness.
Habito chimes in joyfully. You know what they say about the thrill of adventure and snowboarding escapades. With a swig from an imaginary bottle and a mock toast to his companions, he launches into another tale. One time, I raced with Thiknk on my trusty motorcycle through those snowy landscapes you just described. And let me tell you, it was nothing short of exhilarating.
Dean couldn't help but chuckle at Bigali's excitement. He loved how his friend could find adventure in every nook and cranny of their surroundings. As they made their way through the cobblestone streets beneath Tokyo's projects district, he spotted a familiar snowboard shop with its windows displaying his favorite colorful boards shaped like carrots and pizzas. Feeling unstoppable, Dean decided to show off his latest trick, the snowboard dance. With a dash of flair, he performed an impassioned rendition of snowboard dance while telling funny snow jokes. His laughter echoed through the streets as he painted the snowy landscape with playful movements, captivating everyone around.
Bigully, that's right. The snowbird dance is my new move and it sure does have some kick to it, he declared, striking a pose that involved him biting into a pizza slice with his golden mane flying in the crisp winter air. Fantastic.
Friday, a warrior must fuel with eclairs, she exclaimed, holding a pastry delicately while striking an impressive dramatic pose. She then embarked on the adventure ahead of her, feeling invincible. As they traversed snowy landscapes and encountered shadowy corners, Friday regaled everyone with tales of valiant warriors from Thiknk. Her words filled them all with awe and unity as they faced adversities together.
Feeling inspired by Friday's tale, Dean gathered his companions for a snowball fight right in the middle of Tokyo's projects district. They laughed heartily and joked around, making friends along the way. "Let's conquer this winter wonderland," he exclaimed with gusto, adrenaline coursing through him as they took on every slope worth conquering. It was all about camaraderie for Dean, enjoying life to its fullest extent by engaging in adventurous activities and creating bonds that could withstand any obstacle thrown their path.
Friday led her companions on a whirlwind tour of the labyrinthine communities beneath Tokyo's projects district. They explored hidden slopes worth conquering and laughed heartily at Dean's antics. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows as they paused for a protein-laden snack, fueled by eclairs and other delectable treats.
Hibito was thrilled when he heard about Friday's tales of valiant warriors from Thiknk and her exciting adventures in Tokyo's projects district. He just had to share his own biking escapades with this lively bunch. "Hey everyone, listen up," Hibito boomed, revving up his motorbike. As the group gaped at him curiously, he pulled out a quirky souvenir, a small wooden bear from Mongolia. "This little guy reminds me of home and my love for adventure on two wheels," he said with a grin. With that, Hibito took off down the snowy slope, performing daring stunts as his companions cheered in amazement. The adrenaline rushed through him like ice-cold water. This was what living life fully meant to him. "Adventure is in my DNA. Mindfulness is in my soul."
"Alright everyone, let's hit the slopes," I beckoned my friends. We spent hours carving fresh tracks in the pristine snow, sharing stories and laughter all around. In between runs, we'd enjoy warm cups of hot chocolate from a cozy cabin nearby, a perfect way to warm up after our cold adventures. "Mind over mountain,"
Hibito roared back on his motorbike, weaving through the trees with an expert finesse that left everyone gasping in awe. He pulled into a clearings and began grilling up pizzas for us all while singing loudly about Snowbird Dance, adding plenty of enthusiasm to the melody.
Bigully added another surprise challenge during their breaks, an impassioned rendition of Snowbird Dance, complete with exaggerated moves that had everyone giggling and laughing in between breaths. As they enjoyed their protein-laden snacks fueled by eclairs, he shared more Thiknk stories about valiant warriors facing adversities and how unity was the key to overcoming them. The group couldn't help but marvel at his boundless energy. Even among Tokyo's labyrinthine communities beneath the project's district, Begully had found a way to turn everything into an adventure.
Friday took in a deep breath and struck her signature pose. "Attention all warriors," she declared dramatically, "we have arrived at our winter wonderland oasis. Let us prepare for exhilarating adventures filled with adrenaline-pumping slopes and heart-stopping jumps. Remember, my friends, fuel your journey with eclairs for that extra burst of valor."
Begully's eyes sparkled with excitement as he listened intently to Friday. "You're absolutely right, my friend," he began enthusiastically. "We may be in a bustling city like Tokyo, but that doesn't mean we can't experience heart-pounding adventures. Just look at us, fueled by eclairs and ready for anything the winter wonderland throws our way." With his characteristic grin, Begully challenged everyone to an ant battle move competition. "Who's up for some friendly competition?" he asked, holding a bottle of protein shake with a quizzical expression on his face. His friends chuckled. They knew this was just part of the thrill. They couldn't wait to see what quirky challenges their fitness fanatic friend had in store for them next.
Friday, with a theatrical flourish, launched into another impassioned rendition of her favorite snowboard song, "Snowbird Dance." "We'll dash down these snowy slopes," she belted out energetically. The group's spirits
sun and chimes, hear the bells in perfect time.
Friday couldn't contain her excitement upon discovering this ancient tale of a dragon terrorizing the projects. She brandished her sword dramatically, its glint reflecting in Habito's customized bike headlights. "My dear friends," she began with an air of dramatic flair, "this is no mere legend. The shadow creature lurks among us, preying on those who dare to venture into darkness."
Begully raised his protein shake in a mock toast to bravery and bizarre recipes. He grinned widely at Friday's dramatic display, knowing that she'd add an extra dash of spice to their adventure. The group shared laughs over Begully's eccentric blend of energy bars and ant trivia as they prepared for the arduous journey ahead. His infectious enthusiasm kept morale high, despite the ominous air hanging over them. Habito revved his bike engine, casting a beam of headlights across Friday's glinting sword. "Let's get moving," he called out, leading their charge into the night. "Zen out, then max out."
With a flourish of his bike's engine and a dash of spice in his tone, Habito led them deeper into the project's heart. As they ventured further into darkness, he shared tales of peculiar souvenirs collected from his motorbike adventures across Mongolia. The group found solace in his exaggerated stories, laughter lightening the oppressive atmosphere surrounding their quest to vanquish the lurking shadow creature. Just another day in the life of a biker bear.
As they rode deeper into darkness, I couldn't help but feel a chill, not from the cold air around us, but from the eerie tales we'd heard. With my snowboarding agility and keen eyesight, I spotted strange scorch marks on buildings lining our route. It was like following a trail of breadcrumbs straight to the heart of danger. Friday let out a gasp as she noticed them too. Her dramatic flair kicked in immediately, envisioning some mythical creature stalking us from the shadows. She started whispering about dragons and monsters lurking around every corner. Bigali tried to reassure her with his booming voice that nothing could scare them when they had each other's backs. Meanwhile, Habito was more interested in exploring this dark neighborhood on his trusty bike than worrying about potential danger. He revved the engine just for fun, casting a beam of headlights across our group. "Come on, guys," he called out cheerily. "Let's take these streets one at a time and see what secrets they hold." Snow kidding.
Friday couldn't help but feel her heart pounding in her chest as she followed Habito's lead. She gripped her sword tightly, its glint reflecting the eerie glow of the streetlights. Despite her fear, excitement coursed through her veins as she faced this heart of danger head-on. With a deep breath and a dash of spice in her voice, she declared, "We'll face whatever lurks in these shadows together."
As we ventured deeper into the projects that night, I couldn't help but notice how my friends' personalities shone through their actions. Friday was all drama and flair, her stories of dragons and monsters keeping us on our toes. Bigali, strong-hearted as always, reassured everyone with his booming voice. And Habito, ever the adventurous spirit, revved up his bike's engine in excitement. Meanwhile, I used my snowboarding agility to keep an eye out for any strange scorch marks or unusual shadows that might hint at danger lurking nearby. My eyesight may not be as sharp as some of the others, but my snowboarder's instinct helps me pick up on things they might miss. I took a quick break and did my signature snowboard dance to lighten the mood, cracking a few silly snow jokes. It's always best to keep things lighthearted when facing unknown dangers.
As I rode my trusty bike through the project's heart, night fell and darkness enveloped us. The glow of streetlights cast long shadows across our path. Fear crept into my veins, but Friday's dramatic flair kept everyone's spirits high. With her glinting sword in hand, she assured us that we were ready for whatever lurked in the shadows.
As I surveyed our surroundings from up on a nearby rooftop, I noticed strange scorch marks and unusual shadows forming an ominous symbol across the projects. With my sharp eyesight and snowboarding agility, I couldn't help but feel that something was off. That's when Friday spotted me and called out, "Dean, up here." Inviting me over, she added with a wink, "I need your input for this adventure, no pun intended."
Friday spotted the symbol and gasped dramatically. "My dear friends," her voice boomed across the rooftops, "we must investigate these cryptic markings. They may hold the key to vanquishing this lurking shadow creature." With that, she led us down a trail of breadcrumbs into the project's heart where danger lurked in every corner.
As I snowboarded through the darkness, my eyes caught sight of an unusual glint in the shadows. My snowboarding instincts kicked in as I veered towards it. What could this be? A clue or a trap? The tension builds, then we're all on edge, but our group's bond keeps us strong.
Friday's eyes widened with excitement. A glint in the shadows. "This is it," she proclaimed confidently. Her dramatic flair took over, and she began orchestrating a plan on how they could approach this mystery. The group nodded, understanding her passion for adventure. As they approached the source of the glint, a small object half hidden under debris, Friday bravely picked it up with her sword-wielding hand, declaring a warrior must protect their allies. They all let out a shared sigh of relief as she unveiled an old locket, possibly another clue to vanquish the lurking shadow creature.
Bigali, fueled by his energy bars and inspired by Dean's snowboarding agility, pushed through the darkness with enthusiasm. He spotted Friday gripping a glinting object in her sword hand, an old locket half hidden under debris. "Looks like we've found our next clue to vanquish that lurking shadow creature," he exclaimed excitedly. The group shared a sigh of relief and ventured deeper into the night, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Pump it up.
Habito grinned broadly, his heart pounding with excitement. Looks like we've found our next clue to vanquish that lurking shadow creature, he echoed Begully's enthusiasm. His bike engine roared as he revved it up, casting a bright beam of headlights into the night. As they rode further into the project's heart, Habito recounted one of his most daring motorcycle adventures, from Mongolia to here. It's all about the thrill and taking chances, he explained with infectious enthusiasm. His tales were peppered with humor and exaggeration, but held an underlying courage that resonated well with their mission. His spirit lifted everyone's morale as they navigated through the streets, guided by the glow of streetlights casting long shadows ahead. We're getting closer to vanquishing this lurking shadow creature, he declared with confidence. His words echoed loudly in the night, a reminder of their shared goal and unyielding camaraderie amidst dangers that lurked around them. Habito's stories continued unabated even as they approached another set of scorch marks on buildings, the heart of danger ahead. There was no fear, only excitement coursing through everyone's veins. Friday gave him a reassuring nod while Begully and Dean shared one last energy bar between them, ready to face whatever lay beyond those shadows.
Begully chugged his protein shake with gusto, feeling his energy level surge. "All right, friends," he declared in his booming voice, "let's vanquish this lurking shadow creature and celebrate our hard work with some tasty snacks." His infectious enthusiasm never failed to lift their spirits even in the face of danger.
Feeling his energy levels surge from the protein shake, Begully led them into another set of scorch marks on buildings. This was truly the heart of danger they had to confront now. The shadows ahead seemed menacing, yet there was no fear in their hearts, only a shared excitement and enthusiasm that kept them going.
Begully led the group forward with newfound energy, his ant battle moves providing motivation even amidst scorch marks on buildings. This was truly the heart of danger they had to face now. The shadows ahead seemed menacing, yet there was no fear in their hearts, only a shared excitement and enthusiasm that kept them going.
Casting a playful glance at his friends, Dean performed his signature snowbird dance one last time before they ventured into the unknown. The glow of streetlights cast long shadows on the frosty pavement, yet he couldn't help but chuckle at some snow joke or another, keeping everyone's spirits high even as tension hung thick in the air.
Friday breathed deeply and struck a dramatic pose, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Feather flow yoga will help us prepare for this quest," she exclaimed, gesturing towards the shadows lurking ahead. With a twirl of her sword, Friday led the group onto the rooftop, where they encountered strange markings etched into the walls. As she studied the symbols, a sudden chill ran down her spine, but it was quickly replaced by passion as Dean's snowboarding agility came into play, navigating through the dangers with grace and precision. The shadows seemed to dance around him, adding an air of mystery to their mission. Friday marveled at how everyone had embraced their unique skills. Begully's booming voice reassured them even in moments of fear. Dean's daring moves made it seem like danger was just another part of the game, and her own flair for the dramatics added a touch of humor amidst tension. They were quite the team, warriors, companions, and friends all rolled into one. The group ventured further, following a trail that led them to an old neighborhood where time seemed to have stood still. Here they uncovered more clues about their elusive enemy, its origins rooted in ancient stories of dragons and monsters lurking at every corner. With renewed determination etched onto their faces, Friday took the lead as they journeyed into the night, guided by the glow of streetlights that cast long shadows on cobblestone streets. It was then she noticed something peculiar: a glinting sword in Dean's hand. It must be the symbol of their shared quest to vanquish the lurking shadow creature. As Friday raised her weapon high and let out an exhilarating battle cry, she knew that whatever lay ahead could only be conquered by their combined efforts. Together they stood, together they would face whatever darkness lingered in the heart of danger.
Habito couldn't help but chuckle at Friday's battle cry. It was always heartwarming to see how their adventures brought out everyone's spirits. He glanced around and noticed Begully grinning broadly, holding an energy bar in one hand while waving a snack in the other. "All right, friends," he boomed. "Let's vanquish this lurking shadow creature together. And when it's done, snacks for all." "Oh, honey."
Begully grinned even wider at Habito's enthusiastic proclamation. Raising his protein shake high in a triumphant toast, he added, "Work hard, snack hard, let's show this shadow creature what we're made of." With that, he took a big gulp of his ant-sized shake and led the group forward into the unknown with renewed vigor.
Dean watched in amusement as Habito and Begully played out their pre-battle routine. He couldn't help but feel a bit hungry himself. Snowboarding was hard work. Shaking off his hunger with a couple of snowboard yoga poses, he decided it was time to take on this shadow creature once and for all. With a grin on his face, Dean pulled out a colorful carrot-shaped board from his backpack. As the others charged ahead, he performed one last snowboard dance before joining them in their battle against whatever was lurking just beyond the glow of streetlights.
Habito revved up his motorcycle's engine and raced towards the darkness with a thrill of excitement coursing through him. He loved these high-stakes missions. It was where he truly felt alive. As they neared their target, Habito spotted something peculiar on Dean's hand. A tiny glint that seemed out of place amidst all the debris. He had to investigate further before vanquishing this shadow creature and continuing his adventurous journey across Mongolia with friends by his side. "Wherever I roam, I'm at home."
Dean grinned at Habito's excitement, feeling a surge of energy from the anticipation of battle. He gripped his trusty snowboard tight, letting its carrot-shaped gleam in the dim light. This was what it was all about, living life fully and fearlessly. Suddenly, he felt something brush past him, some unseen force whispering secrets in his ear. Shaken but curious, Dean paused for a moment on top of a building. This was how close they were getting to their target. A sudden realization struck him like lightning, that tiny glint he'd seen on his hand. It wasn't debris at all. It was the outline of another snowboard symbol, the mark of an ancient order, forgotten and long lost. His heart racing with equal parts excitement and fear, Dean felt a pull towards this mysterious figure. Something inside him told him it held answers to questions he hadn't yet asked. He made up his mind then and there. After their mission here in Mongolia was finished, after they vanquished the lurking shadow creature, Dean would follow that symbol. He'd uncover its secrets wherever it led. Kosam.
In Tokyo's bustling cityscape, a new fervor gripped the fitness fanatic. With each protein shake he mixed those colorful concoctions in oversized, ant-sized proportions, and every workout session with friends, Begully's enthusiasm for this newly adopted lifestyle soared. His quirky style was infectious, his energy levels were consistently high as he tirelessly challenged everyone to their limits in a series of games derived from ant battle moves. The laughter that echoed during these sessions seemed to fuel rather than drain him, even more so when he whipped out bizarre recipes and intriguing ant trivia. One thing was certain, Begully's unique approach to exercise had transformed his group into an unbreakable bond, ready for any obstacle thrown their way. Sweat is just mindfulness in motion.
Friday, unable to contain her excitement at this new development in Dean's life, launched into a dramatic monologue about how they could use feather flow yoga poses for protection during their next battle. A warrior must also have the energy of eclairs. "And we shall vanquish that shadow creature with gusto," she exclaimed. But her thoughts were interrupted by an unexpected crunch underfoot. Something brushed against her leg, leaving a trail in its wake as it disappeared into the shadows. She followed the scorch marks leading to what looked like an ancient building. "This is intriguing," Friday whispered, eyeing the mysterious structure before sharing her discovery with her comrades. Together they ventured forward, curiosity piqued, and their newfound energy urging them on. Unbeknownst to them, they were about to find themselves in a heart-stopping adventure that would challenge even the bravest among them.
As Friday led their group closer to the building's entrance, Dean couldn't help but notice something peculiar about his snowboard. It had a symbol on it that he hadn't noticed before. He quickly followed Friday inside, and as they explored this mysterious structure together, he found himself trying to piece together what this new mark could mean for their mission. Zen mode is snowboarding.
Beagle's enthusiasm was contagious. Everyone in his workout group shared a similar fervor for fitness and fun. As they entered Tokyo's bustling cityscape, he led them through an impromptu game of ant battle moves, chuckling at their laughter as they navigated obstacles thrown their way with gusto.
Friday breathed deeply and struck a dramatic pose in front of the building's entrance. "Fear not, my valiant comrades. The shadows may be dark and menacing, but we are filled with laughter and éclairs." She grinned at Dean, who raised an eyebrow at her comment. The group entered the mysterious structure together, Friday's sword glinting in the dim light. As they traversed its labyrinthine corridors, she couldn't help but recall her days practicing dramatic poses in southern France. Her French pastries obsession had led to a peculiar proclamation: a warrior must fuel with éclairs. Now, surrounded by unknown dangers, those words echoed louder than ever. They pressed on together, navigating obstacles and sharing stories of their past adventures while keeping an eye out for any lurking shadows that might threaten them. Friday's infectious spirit kept everyone motivated to face whatever lay ahead in this heart-stopping adventure. A sword and a croissant, what more could a hen ask for?
As they ventured deeper into the structure, a sudden burst of energy swept through their group. That's when Habito chimed in with his booming voice. "All right, friends, let's vanquish this lurking shadow creature and snack on some delicious snacks." His enthusiasm was contagious, filling everyone's veins with newfound vigor. They charged forward as a team, warriors and companions united by the bonds forged through their adventures. In sync like never before, they navigated obstacles thrown in their way while keeping an eye out for any signs of danger. Suddenly, Habito came to a halt at the sight of something peculiar on one wall. Dean's hand, etched into snowboard symbol from a past battle against whatever it was. He had forgotten about that skirmish. Still, he found himself grinning at the memory. It felt like ages ago since they'd faced off against such peril. Now, with renewed determination coursing through their veins, Habito couldn't help but feel certain that this time too, they would emerge victorious and continue enjoying each other's company as they did on those cobblestone streets of Tokyo.
Amidst their heart-stopping adventure, Beagle managed to maintain his enthusiasm thanks to the city's unique charm and fitness culture that kept everyone energized during workouts. His peculiar proclamation of "work hard, snack hard" fueled laughter while challenging friends with quirky games like ant battle moves. It became their daily ritual after sessions at Tokyo's bustling gyms, filled with excitement over ant trivia and recipes for bizarre protein shakes.
As they trekked through southern France, basking in its French pastries obsession, Habito couldn't resist breaking into song about his latest bike escapade. The group chuckled at his exaggerated tales while savoring the taste of buttery croissants and café au lait. In the distance, they heard faint strains of a peculiar proclamation: "Work hard, snack hard." They laughed, knowing it was time for another impromptu game of ant battle moves before resuming their adventures through labyrinthine corridors lined with debris from days gone by.
Beagle had never been one to shy away from a challenge, and it seemed that this peculiar proclamation was just another obstacle thrown his way. With renewed energy coursing through his veins, he shouted out an enthusiastic, "Let's go," as they all charged forward into the unknown adventure that awaited them.
Friday's eyes widened with delight at Bigull's proclamation, and she spread her arms wide, striking a dramatic pose. A warrior must fuel with éclairs, she exclaimed, her voice echoing through the cobblestone streets of southern France. Her fellow adventurers chuckled at Friday's enthusiasm, but couldn't deny the infectious energy that seemed to fill the air whenever she was around. As they continued their journey together, navigating obstacles and sharing stories by nightfall, it became clear that this group of warriors had forged strong bonds through their shared adventures. And so, as they charged forward into whatever challenges lay ahead, Friday's warrior cry of "Let's vanquish the shadows lurking in our path" served to further bolster their spirits. With a burst of energy and newfound gusto, they marched forth together, heart-pounding adventure awaiting them just around the corner. Courage, mes Amos.
Habito, in his exuberant spirit, decided to share an amusing tale from one of his motorcycle escapades. He regaled the group with exaggerated accounts of a particularly tricky trail and how he had barely escaped with his fur intact. Laughter echoed through the air as they listened intently to Habito's animated storytelling. 2 wheels, 1 heart, endless adventure.
Bigull's enthusiasm was infectious. It spread like wildfire among the group, making every workout session more entertaining than ever before. His quirky style and insatiable appetite for French pastries had even earned him a nickname, the Ant-Man, much to his delight. One day, as they were exploring the cobblestone streets of southern France with its charming café culture, Bigull spotted an old building that looked like it could use some fitness inspiration. "Work hard, snack hard," he cried out enthusiastically, launching into a monologue about how this place was perfect for their next workout session. His fellow adventurers chuckled at his energy, but couldn't deny the excitement and zeal he brought to every adventure they undertook together. They marched forward boldly with Friday leading the charge, heart-pounding adventures awaiting them just around each corner, and Bigull there in the background, energizing everyone with his unique brand of humor and fitness frenzy.
Friday spun around dramatically, her sword glinting in the sunlight from the French fields. "Ah yes, Bigull. What a marvelous inspiration you bring." She struck a pose, arms spread wide like wings. "We shall conquer this old building with grace and elan. Warriors need their fuel, after all."
Bigull pumped his fist excitedly at Friday's words. "That's right." He grinned broadly, eyes sparkling. "Ant-sized protein shakes for everyone. Let's conquer those stairs and see what fitness secrets this old building has hidden away."
Well, I'd rather be up on those snowy peaks carving fresh tracks with my board than down here dealing with greasy burgers and alien invasions. But hey, at least we've got some funny stories from this crazy shift. Want to hear a snow joke? Why did the snowboarder get cold feet? Because he couldn't make up his mind which board to use, the pizza one or the carrot.
Haha, that's a good one. But you know what they say, laughter is the best medicine when dealing with all this alien business. I mean, just imagine if those aliens knew about ants and our love for protein shakes. We'd have them running scared in no time flat. Now let me tell you guys something funny that happened at my last gym session. While mixing an extra strong protein shake, I spotted a peculiar customer by the door, green skin, pointy ears, definitely not from around here. Meanwhile, Dean was making some strange noises into the speaker. Then Habito saw something move in the vents, and Friday screamed about a leaking freezer. But hey, at least our gym membership is looking good on paper, right?
Just another night of flipping burgers and serving fries, was so I thought. You see, I'm no ordinary bird, I learned to snowboard by watching the pros. So when I heard Friday scream about a leaking freezer, my first instinct was to perform my signature snowboard dance. After all, what better way to ease tension than with some funny snow jokes? But let's just say the mood wasn't exactly lightened. Green skin and pointy ears, definitely not from around here. And those strange noises I made into the speaker must have been a result of my adrenaline-fueled snowboarding moves. Now, we are facing aliens hidden beneath our greasy exterior, quite the twist for this chill bird. But fear not, I'll use my agility and sense of humor to keep us out of trouble.
As I approached the kitchen with a tray full of freshly cooked steaks, I couldn't help but notice something odd about our customers. They seemed green and pointy-eared. In my excitement, I decided that we needed more than just burgers on the menu tonight. And so, inspired by my love for adventure and motorcycles, I concocted a plan. "Hey guys," I yelled as I rode up to the drive-thru speaker on my trusty motorbike. "We're about to make our most daring burger blend yet. We've got honey-glazed steaks with just a hint of Bearminto sauce. And for those who crave something a bit more exotic, we're serving up some snowbird specials made with the finest alien proteins, straight from the other side of the galaxy." The group looked at me incredulously. Dean even raised an eyebrow in disbelief, but I couldn't be deterred. We were facing off against aliens hidden beneath our greasy exterior. Why not go all out? As we continued to cook and serve burgers with a newfound vigor, I noticed that those green-skinned customers seemed oddly intrigued by my motorbike. And when they spotted me riding it around the kitchen, doing donuts and jumps while grilling their orders, well, let's just say they couldn't take their eyes off us. Little did we know that our wild antics would not only distract the aliens but also give them ideas for how to incorporate humanity into their menus. But hey, at least we're living life on the edge.
As I flipped another burger on the grill, my thoughts couldn't help but drift towards those strange green-tinged customers. They sure loved watching me ride my motorbike around the kitchen. It was like they'd never seen anything like it before. But little did we know that our wild stunts were more than just entertainment for them. They were getting inspiration for new menu items. Still, I suppose it's better to keep them distracted and entertained rather than suspicious or hostile. In this crazy galaxy of ours, who knows what they might be cooking up next?
As I pumped iron in the kitchen gym, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride mixed with nervousness. My recent foray into Japan's fitness scene had paid off. My muscles were bulging like nobody's business. But it wasn't just my physique that drew attention. It was also those protein-packed shakes I whipped up, using the finest alien proteins from our secret menu. They might look and taste weird to most people, but with each sip, I could feel their energy levels skyrocketing. I caught Dean grinning at me as he flipped yet another burger on the grill. "You know," I said between gulps of my protein-rich shake, "our customers are more fascinated by us than they let on. Just look at them watching you do motorbike stunts in here." Dean raised an eyebrow and replied, "Well, if that's what it takes to keep those aliens distracted while we figure out our next move, I say go for it. But don't forget, we need to be just as agile outside of the kitchen too." With a nod of agreement from Friday and Habito, our little group continued its work. The energy in Galaxy Grub was higher than ever before, not only because of us, but also due to that mysterious green goo oozing out from under the freezer door.
Feeling confident in his agility, Dean suggested they use their newfound strength and speed to handle any trouble that might come their way. As he put on his snowboarding gear secretly beneath the greasy exterior of Galaxy Grub's kitchen, he couldn't help but remember his days snowboarding down Swiss mountains.
Habito let out a hearty laugh and revved up his motorbike in excitement. "Ah yes, just like those thrilling Mongolia roads, my friends." He patted Dean's back approvingly before accelerating across the kitchen floor, much to everyone's surprise. As they continued their work with renewed vigor, Habito shared exaggerated tales of his biking escapades, complete with exaggerated gestures and wild stunts on his motorbike. Despite the aliens' strange noises echoing through the drive-thru speaker and the hum of malfunctioning machines in the background, there was a newfound sense of camaraderie among our brave kitchen crew. While they worked together to navigate dark kitchens filled with greasy food and alien creatures stalking them from the shadows, Habito hosted his infamous Bear BKs, grilling everything from honey-glazed steaks to donuts for their fellow workers. All in all, it seemed like just another night at Galaxy Grub, if not for that strange green goo leaking out of the freezer.
Our Habito stunts are nothing compared to my snowboarding escapades. You see, I spent some time in Switzerland honing my skills on those steep snowy peaks. I've got a whole collection of colorful snowboards back home, even one shaped like a pizza. Before every run down the mountain, I perform my signature snowboard dance. It's all about living life to the fullest and embracing that adrenaline rush. With his laid-back attitude doing its best to ease tension in the kitchen, Dean attempted another snowboard dance. Meanwhile, Friday couldn't help but let out a scream as something strange began moving in one of the freezer trays.
Begully rolled his eyes at Dean's snowboarding stories. Please, that's child's play compared to my intense workouts back in Tokyo. I used to be a fitness fanatic, you know, sipping on protein shakes and challenging friends to amp battle moves after each gym session. He flexed a muscular arm for emphasis.
Friday took a deep breath and struck her signature dramatic pose. Begully's intense workouts are nothing compared to my spontaneous monologues filled with tales of heroic pastries. In sunny fields of southern France, I discovered my sword while practicing dramatic poses in front of a barn mirror. My quirky obsession leads me to exclaim, "A warrior must fuel with eclairs." Now, as strange things move within the freezer trays, let us face this challenge together. Keep calm and cluck on.
Chilling out between snowboarding runs in Switzerland, Dean performed his signature snowboard dance. He laughed at Begully's tales of intense workouts and quipped, "Begully may wield a mighty tray full of pastries, but I bet my board skills would beat him in a race down the Swiss mountains." With adrenaline pumping from the recent discovery in the freezer, he couldn't help but wonder what other secrets Galaxy Grub held.
Habito roared into the kitchen on his trusty motorbike, a grin stretching across his pointy ears at Dean's snowbird dance and Begully's pastry tales. He parked his ride next to the freezer door where Friday had just let out a scream. Nothing like the sweet smell of fear in the morning. Habito chuckled before hopping off his motorcycle and joining the group. So it seems we've got something moving in there. He raised an eyebrow at Friday's dramatic pose, but was too excited to wait and see what they'd find next.
Begully's eyes lit up with excitement as he followed Habito over to the freezer door. He flexed his arm, emphasizing his newfound strength from his intense workouts in Tokyo's fitness scene. "Work hard, snack hard," Begully proclaimed, smiling at Friday and sharing a quick glance of understanding between them. This was their moment, time for action and adventure. He picked up one of the trays from the freezer door, pointing out to Friday how well his protein shake had settled in. "Fantastic. I bet no other kitchen crew could pull off an amp-themed breakfast." He grinned at Dean's amused expression before letting out a laugh that echoed throughout the bustling Galaxy Grub. Begully felt alive, electricity pulsing through him as he prepared to face whatever they found next inside their mysterious freezer. Little did he know just how much of a challenge it would be, one they'd all remember for days to come.
As Habito closed in on the freezer door, its metallic surface reflecting his excitement, he couldn't help but recall his many motorcycle adventures across Europe and Asia, from Switzerland's snowy peaks to France's fields of lavender. With a swift kick at the heavy metal door, it gave way, revealing trays covered with frost. "Well, move it," he encouraged Dean as adrenaline fueled their discovery of Galaxy Grub's secrets.
Begully's eyes lit up at the sight of the frost-covered trays in the freezer. He grabbed one and held it up, beaming with pride. "Look, Friday. These are my finest alien proteins." His voice echoed off the metallic walls of Galaxy Grub's kitchen. Ignoring the sudden chills from the cold air, he busied himself preparing an ant-sized shake for everyone. Their energy levels were going to need a boost after what they'd just witnessed. With a flourish, he handed out the shakes, observing with satisfaction as his friends gulped them down. "Feels like we've found ourselves in the heart of the galaxy," someone exclaimed, eyes wide with newfound vigor. "This is Galaxy Grub's signature dish. You won't find anything greasier exterior than this elsewhere." Their laughter resonated through the kitchen and even reached Dean on his motorbike outside. With a grin, he revved up his engine in response to their merriment.
Habito's heart raced with excitement as he weaved through traffic on his trusty motorcycle, feeling alive like never before. He had always been drawn to adventure and danger ever since discovering the joy of riding in Mongolia's rugged mountains. As he rode past Galaxy Grub's kitchen, filled with tantalizing aromas that only made him want to indulge further in life's excitement, Habito couldn't resist breaking into a spontaneous song. His unique voice echoed through the alleyway, capturing everyone's attention as they watched him speed away towards his next thrill-seeking escapade. His love for motorcycles had taken him far and wide, from Europe's lush green landscapes to Asia's bustling cities. Every ride felt like a new adventure waiting to be discovered. Stories that he would later share with Galaxy Grub customers during his infamous Bear BK barbecues, always adding bear-sized portions of humor. But it wasn't just the thrill and excitement that drove him forward. Habito truly believed in living life to its fullest, and as he tore off down the road on his motorbike, you could be sure that wherever adventure took him next, he would meet it with a wide grin and open arms.
One day in Tokyo's bustling fitness scene, Bigully stumbled upon an underground gym where locals showed off their incredible strength and agility on motorbikes. Intrigued by this unique blend of fitness and thrill-seeking, he decided to join them for a session. With his energy levels through the roof, he challenged anyone daring enough for an adrenaline-fueled competition in the snowy peaks of Switzerland or the greasy exterior of Galaxy Grub's kitchen, much to everyone's surprise. Little ant, big attitude.
Watching these humans perform their daring snowboarding stunts with such grace and enthusiasm is truly something special. As a chill bird, I've always loved observing them from afar, but today, I decided to take a leap, or should I say slide. And let my wings, board glide be the guide.
Ahem. Excuse me, dear bird, but might I inquire about the peculiar shape of your snowboarding form? It appears more like a plump cylinder than an agile torpedo. Nevertheless, your enthusiasm is truly contagious. Now off to France's fields of lavender or perhaps Switzerland's snowy peaks for our next adventure together. Why thank you, feather flow yoga sessions are just what one needs amidst all this thrill-seeking escapade. But seriously, I do find it rather peculiar that my snowboarding form appears more like a plump cylinder. Oh well, variety is the spice of life, they say. So off we go to France's fields of lavender or perhaps Switzerland's snowy peaks for our next adventure together, with me leading the way in my unique style. Watch out everyone, here comes Friday and her trusty motorbike. Let the adrenaline-fueled discovery of Galaxy Grub's secrets commence.
Habito let out a hearty laugh and started singing his favorite tune while revving up his trusty motorbike. With a big grin on his face, he waved at Friday saying, "Let's hit the road, my friend. Adventure awaits." And with that, they took off towards France's fields of lavender, leaving behind their frost-covered trays in search of new experiences and thrilling escapades.
Friday's eyes widened in wonder at the dazzling ice cream tower, her heart swelling with anticipation. As she floated on a cloud of chantilly cream supreme, linguistic prowess filled her every pore, even those not from Earth listened intently as Friday spun tales of adventure and heroics.
Habito roared into the carnival grounds on his trusty motorcycle, a sight that left everyone in awe. His bike, named Bear, gleamed under the bright lights of the fairground, and its unique design, decorated with various souvenirs from Habito's many adventures, stood out amongst all other modes of transport.
Friday, enthralled by the carnival's strange energy, could not help but indulge in more French pastries before leading feather flow yoga sessions filled with laughter amidst the unique setting of this surreal world. As she savored each bite with dramatic flair, Friday noticed a peculiar painting in one of the tents. It depicted a fierce battle between knights and fantastical creatures, hinting at untold stories waiting to be uncovered within these brightly colored tents.
Habito's heart leapt with excitement as he revved up his motorcycle, Bear, and tore through the carnival grounds. He shared tales of previous expeditions while performing acrobatic stunts on his bike, much to Friday's delight.
As I soared above the cotton candy clouds, I couldn't help but feel my heart racing with excitement. These past few hours have been nothing short of exhilarating, from snowboarding down snow-capped mountains to attending a bizarre carnival in an alternate dimension. But one thing's for sure, life is definitely more fun when you're in the bad. Board, breathe, believe.
Habito roared into the cotton candy forest on his trusty motorcycle Bear, enjoying its unique flavor-infused scent. As they rode through the sticky forest, he spotted remnants of other riders who had tried and failed to escape the carnival's grasp. Habito shared more tales of daring exploits with Friday while weaving between cotton candy clouds, their laughter echoing in the eerie silence of the haunted carnival.
Friday's heart swelled with anticipation as she spotted an ancient-looking sword on a wall inside one of the tents. With her signature dramatic flair, she declared it was meant for her and seized the weapon. As they delved deeper into the carnival, Friday expertly wielded her newfound blade, slicing through enchanted barriers and protecting her friends from unseen dangers.
While zipping past towering snowboards shaped like pizzas and carrots in the cotton candy forest, Dean performed his signature snowbird dance, cracking funny snow jokes to lighten everyone's mood. He then swooped down for a quick snowball fight before taking off again, demonstrating his unique flair for fun amidst chaos.
Bigully couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement at Tokyo's latest attraction, an immersive virtual reality gym. The system synced with his fitness tracker for real-time feedback and motivation. As he entered the neon-lit lobby, he spotted an odd-looking machine in one corner. It looked like a giant anthill with glowing pincers. His curiosity got the better of him as he approached the contraption. Suddenly, it whirred to life. A holographic screen displayed detailed blueprints of cities around the world, while small, neon ants swarmed over each map. Before Bigully could react, thousands of miniature digital ants burst from the machine and invaded every corner of the gym. Frantic, yet intrigued by this strange phenomenon, Bigully tried to escape but found himself surrounded by hordes of tiny virtual insects. He realized that he was now part of a massive real-time strategy game, controlling an army of pixelated ants battling against rival colonies in cities worldwide. Unfazed by the challenge, Bigully took control and devised tactics for his digital army using landmarks and unique city layouts to their advantage. He grinned at the screen as his colony began to gain ground over their opponents. "Work hard, snack hard," he proclaimed triumphantly, feeling a surge of adrenaline fueling him through this high-stakes virtual reality game show extravaganza.
As the digital army battled it out on screen, Dean found himself drawn towards an enormous snow-covered peak in Switzerland. It was a picturesque sight, powder-white snow covering every inch of the mountain, with sunlight glinting off icicles like diamonds. With his trusty pizza-shaped snowboard strapped to his feet, he sped down the slopes, feeling the wind whipping past him as laughter echoed through the valley below. He loved how this snowy wonderland contrasted sharply with the neon Nibelnote psychedelic trip, a reminder that life was more than just trippy illusions and alien abductions. He twirled in midair one last time before landing smoothly on fresh snow, carving tracks into the white expanse as he mused about how to translate this thrilling experience back at the neon Nibelnote.
As Habito considered his next move in the neon-lit diner-turned-alien spacecraft, an idea struck him. Maybe he could use some of the souvenirs from his various adventures around the world. With a grin, he rummaged through his bag and pulled out a small leather pouch containing just what they needed. Some exotic spices that would surely spice up their plans to escape. Yup.
After carefully considering the pros and cons of using the souvenirs from his various adventures, Bigali decided to give it a try. He opened his leather pouch, revealing an assortment of peculiar items, neon-lit ants with pincers, a contraption resembling an anthill, and even a mini snowboard shaped like a carrot.
As Friday surveyed their surreal surroundings, she suddenly remembered her sword. "My trusty blade," she exclaimed, drawing it from its hiding place in her coat. Its glow illuminated the shifting walls and warped space around them. With newfound determination, she charged forward into the unknown, declaring to her friends, "Feather flow yoga taught me that a warrior must face uncertainty head-on. Let's find this alien lab and put an end to their nefarious experiments."
Bigali couldn't help but let out a snort of laughter at Friday's declaration. The idea of confronting strange aliens and saving people from certain doom while wielding his mini snowboard like a sword seemed ludicrous. Yet, there was something intoxicating about it all, the thrill, the danger, and the absurdity. "I'm in," he exclaimed before anyone could object.
Friday charged ahead into an endless sea of booths filled with customers in a trance-like state. Their eyes were wide and unblinking, their faces stoic expressions of both fascination and fear at the unearthly phenomena around them. With every step she took forward, the air felt thicker, a heady mix of snow and adrenaline that invigorated her as much as it bewildered her friends. In contrast to Bigali's quiet giggle, Dean seemed taken aback by Friday's sudden charge but quickly recovered his composure. Habito was already scanning their surroundings with calculating eyes. The walls around them pulsed rhythmically like a neon-lit heartbeat, warping space and distorting perspective at every turn. It was no wonder the others were entranced. Even I found myself unable to resist the siren call of this surrealist adventure playground.
Snowball fights and spontaneous dance parties, that's how Dean spent most of his snowboarding days in Switzerland. But he wouldn't miss a chance to explore the neon Nibelnote for its otherworldly vibe. As they sat down for some cosmic cheeseburger, he felt the pulse of something unusual.
"Oh, that's just my thing. I get a bit excited about fitness and nutrition, especially when we're surrounded by such cosmic culinary creations." "So you call this place the Neon Nibelnote?" "More like the Cosmic Confectionery Factory. It's making me hungry just thinking about it. But seriously, folks. This place is more than meets the eye. I mean, sure, look at those walls pulsing with neon light. But beyond that, there's an odd sensation in the air, isn't there? Like a subtle hum of power or energy, or something else entirely. And you bet your ant-sized protein shakes I'm going to be the first one to try their cosmic cheeseburger. Just need to find out what exactly we're dealing with here. Maybe it is an alien spacecraft after all."
I downshift my gears and prepare for liftoff on this crazy cosmic ride. Friday's already sunk her beak into a cosmic confectionery factory Thiknk Majigi, and Bigali is attempting to lift a table with his newfound telekinesis powers. Can't say I'm not enjoying the trip so far.
Ah, look, cosmic confectionery factory. Unleash my taste buds and they might just teleport us directly into a universe of sweet delights. I proclaimed dramatically while diving headfirst into that sundae. And yes, Dean, this is quite the trip, or rather, quite the extraterrestrial experience. But what's this strange sensation in the air? It's like electricity. A hum of power. Oh, don't you worry. With my trusty pizza-shaped snowboard at the ready, and an assortment of peculiar items from our leather pouch, including those neon-lit ants with pincers we found at that anthill on the corner of that gym back in Tokyo, I'm prepared to face whatever masterminds lurk behind this diner's dark purpose. Let's just hope their creations are more fitness tracker and less reality gym contraption. Or else, might need those neon-lit ants for something other than amusement.
Dean took a deep breath, feeling the crisp winter air fill his feathers. He looked around, taking in the neon-lit diner-turned alien spacecraft surrounded by a sea of booths and customers. Their eyes were wide with fascination at Bigali's antics as he experimented with an assortment of peculiar items from their leather pouch, including those neon-lit ants with pincers they found at that anthill on the corner of the gym back in Tokyo. As Dean surveyed his surroundings, he noticed a mix of snow and adrenaline pumping through him. Laughter echoed around him, and even Friday seemed to snort at Bigali's audacity. Yet, beneath it all was an undercurrent of uncertainty. What if they couldn't handle whatever lay ahead? It didn't matter though. The atmosphere was electric, each neon heartbeat pulsing with anticipation as the others wondered who or what might show up next for them to confront. Dean found himself grinning. There was something intoxicating about this absurdity. Snowboarding is 90% snow, 10% zen.
Habito couldn't resist adding his own flair to the mix of excitement and uncertainty. He rode up on a neon-lit motorbike, revving it loudly, grinning from ear to ear. "Ah, this is living," he proclaimed, winking at Dean before roaring off into the snowy wonderland that surrounded them. The others watched in awe as Habito disappeared over a snow-covered peak and into Switzerland.
Bigali couldn't stop grinning at the thought of his friends' expressions when they saw him disappear over the snowy mountain. His energy was contagious. He knew it would inspire them in their own adventures. The neon-tinged city lay behind them now, replaced by a blanket of white and sparkling icicles that caught sunlight like diamonds. Dean's trusty pizza-shaped snowboard glided through the powder while Bigali dug into his leather pouch for an assortment of peculiar items: a mini snowboard, carrot, and even some pincers. "Come on," he called to the others, holding up a neon-illuminated contraption that looked like a cross between a toy and a piece of exercise equipment. "Let's try out my new creation." Habito had mentioned an alien lab in need of experimentation subjects. Bigali decided this would be perfect for testing his invention, the Neon Nibblenut Workouts machine.
With a deep breath and an elegant twirl of her sword, Friday charged towards the neon-illuminated contraption. "Feather flow yoga, warrior," she proclaimed with a grin, striking a pose mid-run. The group laughed as they followed her lead into this strange workout machine.
With a nod of his feathered head and an audible cackle that echoed through the snowy mountains, Dean led them down the slope towards their next adventure. The Neon Nibblenut Workouts machine whirred to life under Bigali's bumbling fingers, causing the group to giggle in anticipation as they prepared for a new form of exercise amidst this alien encounter. As they reached the bottom, the neon-tinged city unfolded before them, an unusual blend of urban landscapes and extraterrestrial architecture. The air was crisp with excitement and uncertainty as Dean's snowboard transformed into yet another peculiar item from his leather pouch, mini snowboards shaped like carrots. Stay frosty and fly high.
Habito, astride his neon-lit motorbike, approached the group with a grin. "Ahoy there!" he called out in a boisterous voice. Strutting over, he began regaling them with tales of his latest biking escapades. Amidst roaring engines and shifting gears, he punctuated each tale by breaking into song. As they wandered through this strange cityscape, the group found themselves drawn to Habito's infectious energy. His neon-lit motorcycle became a beacon amidst unknown landscapes as they ventured forth on their adventure together. Very nice.
Begully couldn't contain his excitement upon witnessing such a colorful and vibrant city filled with extraterrestrial architecture. With wide eyes and an enthusiastic grin, he grabbed one of the mini snowboards shaped like a carrot from his leather pouch and took off down a nearby slope. The others watched in awe as Begully effortlessly navigated the snowy mountain terrain on his peculiar board, weaving between neon-illuminated contraptions that resembled exercise equipment. His movements were so fluid they seemed almost otherworldly. As he sped back towards them, sliding to a stop with a flourish of twirls and sword poses, Begully cackled triumphantly. "Work hard, snack hard," he declared as his companions shook their heads in amusement. The group soon found themselves at the entrance of what appeared to be an alien encounter center, a towering structure filled with strange landscapes, odd architecture, and even stranger creatures roaming around. With curiosity piqued and hearts pounding from excitement, they decided it was time for some experimentation, stepping into this surreal world eager to see where their adventure would take them next. Big dreams in a small package.
As they wandered through the bizarre hallways of the structure, an explosion of colors caught Habito's attention. The neon-lit walls seemed to pulse with energy, and he felt a sudden urge to jump on his motorbike and explore this new world further. Riding towards the heart of the cityscape in his vibrant motorcycle, its engine roaring like a lion's cry amidst a sea of similarly exotic machines lining the streets, Habito couldn't resist adding more flair to his ride. He twisted the throttle, causing sparks to fly as he sped past neon-lit signs and towering skyscrapers. His companions looked on with amazement at this wild spectacle. One of them marveled at how Habito could spin tall tales of biking adventures while effortlessly performing death-defying stunts on his motorbike. "He's a real character," they said, breaking into spontaneous laughter which echoed through the bustling streets like music to their hearts. Unaware and uncaring about any looming danger or uncertainty, they charged forth with open minds and adventurous spirits eager for whatever lay ahead in this intoxicatingly bizarre city teeming with life unlike anything they'd ever known. Breathe deep, twist the throttle.
Dean grinned widely at his companion's amused expressions. "Let's hit the slopes," he cackled, twirling his neon-illuminated snowboard in a daring show-off. He leaped onto it with surprising agility and commenced spinning tales of his own, weaving funny snow jokes into each spin on the mountain terrain. The group laughed heartily at Dean's antics, feeling their spirits lifted high by this carefree display. Some joined him, carving neon-tinged paths across the snowy landscape while others preferred to spectate from a safe distance, marveling at the madcap character of their new friend and his vibrant snowboarding escapades. In no time, they were all caught up in the feverish excitement of Dean's playful energy, racing towards the next amusing adventure with an unabashed enthusiasm. It was as if anything, danger, uncertainty, or any other reality was just an obstacle on this surreal playground, with their hearts pounding with anticipation and joy at every new twist.
Begully grinned widely as he watched his friends effortlessly glide down the mountain terrain. "This is epic," he exclaimed, holding up a carrot for added effect. His snowboard was shaped like one too, a peculiar item in everyone's collection that represented their unique style and flair. As they reached the bottom of the slope, laughing and high-fiving each other, Begully couldn't help but feel grateful for this vibrant community he had found in Tokyo. From neon-lit diners to alien encounters, there was never a dull moment here. His thoughts turned towards his beloved neon Nibblenut workouts machine that he so lovingly pieced together from an assortment of peculiar items, including pincers and gear parts. It had been his personal challenge to create the ultimate workout contraption. With a gleeful grin, Begully vowed to bring it out next time they hit the snowy slopes. But for now, amidst laughter and adrenaline, he was content just enjoying this moment with his friends, each one of them adding their unique flavor into the mix, like when they tried new recipes at Friday's or experienced Dean snowboarding down a mountain on a pizza-shaped board. Oh, what fun it was to be alive in Tokyo! One Ant Army.
In between her dramatic poses and passionate monologues about her heroic life, Friday discovered an unexpected addition to her neon Nibblenut workouts machine. A neon-illuminated snowboard showed up on Dean's collection of peculiar items. With a twirl of excitement in the snowy landscape, she declared it the ultimate accessory for their next workout session on the slopes.
Habito raised his hands and let out a lion's cry, sparking cheers from everyone around. His neon-tinged motorbike roared into action as he revved up for another thrilling ride. The snowy mountain terrain was perfect for showcasing his agility and love of speed. He zoomed past the others with an audacious twirl that left them awestruck.
Friday couldn't contain her excitement at the sight of Dean's neon-illuminated snowboard. "Imagine," she exclaimed, her voice brimming with enthusiasm, "the possibilities for our future snowy adventures." She took a moment to admire the glowing board before turning back to the group. A sudden burst of energy had them all giggling and twirling in unison. It was as if Friday's infectious spirit were contagious. In that brief span of time between laughter and breathlessness, Friday felt something click into place within her. This little addition to their collection made perfect sense. It embodied the same mix of excitement, curiosity, and adventure they all craved. The neon Nibblenut workouts machine was more than just a fun pastime, it symbolized freedom in its purest form. Her thoughts lingered on Dean's snowboard as she led them up the snowy slope. She had always been fascinated by how an object could convey so much about its owner, and this neon-illuminated contraption seemed to embody more than just a peculiar item in Dean's collection. It was like an extension of his personality, audacious, bold, unapologetically unique. With renewed energy coursing through her veins, Friday steered the group towards the heart of the snowy mountain terrain. It was time for their next adventure together. No one can handle my croissant kick combo.
Suddenly, a gust of chilly wind blew past them and whispered, "The secret to snowboarding is in your heart." Puzzled by the cryptic message, Dean shrugged it off and continued performing his signature snowboard dance, cracking more funny snow jokes as they made their way up the mountain.
Begully pumped a fist in excitement at Dean's neon-illuminated snowboard, grinning widely as he sidled up next to Friday. "Ant battle moves," he declared, shaking his ant-sized protein shake bottle triumphantly. "Work hard, snack hard," called out someone from the group, and laughter echoed through the snowy mountains. Begully giggled in response before challenging them all into a fun race on their mini snowboards, carrot sticks replacing traditional finish lines.
Habito laughed heartily at Dean's antics and joined in the playful race up the snowy mountain slope. As he whizzed by on his neon-illuminated contraption of a snowboard, he shouted a catchy tune about adventure and zest for life. His voice echoed through the valley as everyone cheered him on. Their spirits lifted with every twist and turn. Habito took fearlessly down the mountain's terrain.
I watched some of the local kids try their hand at carving miniature snowboards from frozen cucumbers. They were hilarious to watch, slipping all over the place but laughing it off with gusto. As I prepared for my next run, I decided to join in on the fun. With a quick spin and a flourish, I performed my signature snowboard dance, cracking some funny snow jokes before launching into an impromptu snowball fight.
Haha, that sounds like quite the sight. While they might not have been able to imagine much speed out of a frozen cucumber snowboard, I bet it still made for some great fun and laughter. You know what they say, work hard, snack hard. Now, let's see if we can get this crew excited about our version of ant battle moves after dinner. If anyone tries to slip up during the workout, I'll have a few surprises in store with my collection of random ant facts. Sweat is just mindfulness in motion.
Ah, Dean. Your snowboard shenanigans sound positively riveting. I'd love to see you attempt an eclair-fueled spin on one of those cucumber creations someday. As we continue our journey through this twisted carnival, let's hope we find some more exciting escapades to share with our new friends, maybe even something involving my beloved sword, and a few surprises of our own. But for now, I'll focus on outwitting these peculiar alien beings. They may have the upper hand in their glowing lair, but Friday won't go down without a fight. Let's gather round the map in the ringmaster's tent. Maybe there's some clue we missed about how to shut this place down for good.
As I glide through the icy terrain of this alien world, I can't help but miss my snowboard shenanigans back home. But hey, maybe we'll find some cucumbers or a new creation here that will spark a whole new line of eclair and cucumber-powered snowboards. Who knows what other surprises await us in this cosmic conspiracy? Let's just hope it doesn't involve too many more impromptu sword fights.
As we examine the ringmaster's map, I can't help but feel that our chances of escaping this carnival are slimmer than a snowbird in summer. But fear not, my friends, with every twist and turn in this alien world, Friday will continue to wield her sword with gusto. And who knows? Maybe we'll even discover some new cucumbers or eclair recipes along the way that could power our escape from here. I take a deep breath and strike a pose, channeling my inner diva as I declare, "Attention all warriors, it's time for Friday's feather flow yoga session. Let's flow through this otherworldly terrain with grace and courage." And with that, we set off to uncover more secrets of the cosmic carnival, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead.
Alright everyone, let's get moving. I'm jazzed after that rousing speech by Friday. Working up a sweat sounds like just the thing to shake off all these weird vibes around us. With that, Begully leads our group into an area of the carnival less explored, an alien-themed mini-golf course where the holes mysteriously transport players to unknown locations upon impact.
As we navigate through this strange golf course, I can't help but feel a sense of excitement mixed with trepidation. This is more than just an ordinary game of mini-golf. The holes are guarded by peculiar alien beings who seem to have an unusual affinity for our earthly pastime. One particularly bizarre creature has attached itself to my motorbike. It's a cross between a praying mantis and a Rubik's Cube, its limbs solving the sides of my bike, while I try not to squish it underfoot. But as we tee off and send our golf balls flying toward these otherworldly portals, Begully and Dean use their strength and agility respectively to guide us safely through each round. The last hole is a wild ride, quite literally. Instead of sending the ball into a hole, this one launches you on an out-of-control roller coaster across unrecognizable alien landscapes. But we manage to scramble off in one piece, just as Friday's yoga teachings kick in and help us maintain our composure amidst the chaos.
Begully's heart pounded with anticipation as he led his friends through this alien mini-golf course. The last hole was a real challenge. Instead of sending the ball into a hole, this one launched you on an out-of-control roller coaster across unrecognizable alien landscapes. But they managed to scramble off in one piece, just as Friday's yoga teachings kicked in and helped them maintain their composure amidst the chaos. Pump it up.
Friday let out a dramatic sigh as she unsheathed her newly discovered sword from its hiding place inside a barn in southern France. "Ah! A weapon worthy of my heroic stature," she exclaimed while practicing poses in front of an old mirror, fueled by the energy of French pastries. As the group made their way through this mysterious and peculiar golf course filled with alien creatures and unexpected challenges, Friday's enthusiasm for adventure only grew stronger. "This is not just any ordinary game, my friends," she declared while gracefully striking a pose to channel her inner warrior spirit during one particularly treacherous hole. Her words echoed as they navigated through the remaining rounds of the mini-golf course, each with its unique twist on Earth's familiar pastime. At last, they reached the final hole, an electrifying and thrilling experience that sent them careening across unrecognizable alien landscapes instead of merely sending a ball into a hole. As Dean expertly guided everyone through twists and turns in this intergalactic golf extravaganza, Begully couldn't help but feel his heart pound with anticipation. A mixture of excitement, trepidation, and adrenaline coursed through him as they all prepared for the grand finale that awaited them. Little did Friday know her dramatic flair would soon be put to an unexpected test beyond this strange golf course, leading her on a journey filled with laughter, friendship, and perhaps even more surprising adventures.
Habito was riding high on his motorbike, cruising through an alien landscape unlike anything he'd seen before. He loved nothing more than exploring new places and sharing tales of his adventures with friends back home in Mongolia. "Hey Friday," Habito called out over the noise of his bike's engine. "I've got a wild idea. What do you think about turning this golf cart into a motorbike kart racer?" He gestured towards the alien contraption they just won at one of the Cosmic Carnival's games. Friday couldn't help but giggle at Habito's enthusiasm and his wild ideas. "You're always full of surprises, Habito. Let's do it." Together, the group prepared their unusual vehicle for the race that lay ahead. "That's awesome."
Begully's heart pounded with anticipation as he hopped onto his motorbike kart racer, strapping on his safety harness. "All right everyone, move in. Let's show these aliens what we're made of." He revved up the engine and sped off into the Cosmic Carnival.
Friday brandished her newly discovered sword triumphantly as she raced after Begully on her own motorbike kart racer. With a theatrical flourish, she declared, "Let this be our battleground. Come forth and face my blade." Fueled by eclair energy, she zipped past alien contraptions in the midst of the Cosmic Carnival games.
As the adrenaline coursed through his wings, Dean hopped on his snowboard shaped like a pizza and launched himself off a ramp, performing his signature snowbird dance midair. He spun in the air before landing smoothly onto the course, rousing up laughter among their friends as he shouted out more silly snow jokes.
Begully led his group through a series of twists and turns in Tokyo's bustling streets. With a sudden stop, they found themselves at an unexpected carnival, the Cosmic Carnival. Excitement filled the air as Begully challenged friends to amp battle moves amidst peculiar alien beings and glowing lairs. Mind over muscles, always.
Friday spotted a unique golf course surrounded by strange creature-filled landscapes. "What an earthly pastime," she exclaimed, her eyes wide with curiosity. With a theatrical flourish, she declared, "Let's test our heroic mettle on this peculiar alien golf course." As they neared the entrance, Friday couldn't help but sense a mix of anticipation and trepidation coursing through her veins.
Dean zoomed past the carnival games on his snowboard-shaped pizza, carving his way towards the unique golf course Friday had spotted. He couldn't resist weaving in and out of the alien creatures that populated this unfamiliar world. As he approached, a sense of excitement tinged with trepidation filled him. This was unlike any ski resort or winter playground back home. "Catch you on the frost side."
Friday couldn't help but feel exhilarated by the unknown. As she gazed at the peculiar golf course enveloped in alien landscapes, her heart pounded with anticipation. This was far from Earth's familiar pastime. Suddenly, a creature leaped out of a nearby hole and landed on its limbs. It had the torso of a mantis and bike-shaped sides. Friday gasped, her eyes wide. To think she'd once been intimidated by Rubik Cube. Unfazed by the bizarre sight, Friday strode towards the creature with composure, chaos whipping around her like a whirlwind. "This is it," she declared triumphantly as she brandished her sword in front of this peculiar alien being. With an enthusiastic war cry fueled by eclair energy, yes, that was happening right now. She charged forward to claim victory on the strange golf course. As Friday approached, a series of loud thumps followed by a high-pitched giggle halted her momentum. It took her but a moment to realize Habito and Begully had concocted some absurd game involving motorbikes and carts, turning this part of the cosmic carnival into an alien-themed mini-golf course. With the carnival games in full swing around them, Friday decided it was time for a heroic entrance. Channeling her inner warrior spirit, she posed dramatically before making her grand entrance to the first hole of the peculiar golf course. The feather is mightier than the sword.
Begully's heart pounded in anticipation as he surveyed their wacky alien-themed mini-golf course. He glanced at Friday, who wore a mix of excitement and trepidation on her face. With his energy fueled by eclair power, he knew they were ready for anything the carnival had to throw at them.
Habito roared into view on his trusty motorbike, waving enthusiastically at Friday and Begully. He expertly navigated a series of ramps and jumps that sent him soaring over alien landscapes before landing smoothly next to them. "Ahoy there, me hearties. Care for a little adventure?" he boomed in his most theatrical voice, gesturing towards the unique golf course dotted with peculiar alien creatures.
Watching all this unfold from atop a snowy slope, Dean took a deep breath and prepared for some high-flying action on his snowboard. He knew it was time to put his skills to the test in the most extraordinary of golf courses. With a final snow joke aimed at breaking any remaining tension, he launched himself off the hill into a corkscrew flip that earned him admiring cheers from Friday and Begully, his new allies in this thrilling cosmic carnival adventure.
Begully flexed his muscles. "Work hard, snack hard," he shouted, spiking a container of protein shake high into the air. The sudden movement caught everyone's attention and sent their laughter soaring. They love how unpredictable each day at the carnival is. Right on.
Habito grinned broadly, his heart pounding with excitement. He revved up his motorbike, causing a thrill among onlookers. The sound of his bike's engine echoed through the carnival grounds as he raced past unique alien landscapes. His wild ideas and exaggerated tales were already filling people with anticipation for what was yet to come in this adventure-filled day at the Cosmic Carnival.
Begully pumped a fist in the air, cheering along with the crowd. He could feel his adrenaline rushing through him, mixing with excitement and trepidation that made every moment of this adventure so exhilarating. Riding his trusty motorbike, he followed Habito deeper into the Cosmic Carnival's games. "Let's see what other alien contraptions we can try out," he exclaimed, grinning at the thought of testing their mettle on unfamiliar terrain.
Dean watched in awe as Habito performed daring stunts on his motorbike kart racer. He couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and curiosity as he took in the unique alien landscapes they were racing through at the Cosmic Carnival. With each new turn, Dean found himself more eager to try out the wild contraptions, like snowboards shaped like pizza or wings that let you fly above it all. Suddenly, an idea struck him: why not combine our skills? Maybe we can create something truly extraordinary here. He shared his thought with Friday and Begully, who eagerly agreed. Together they scoured the carnival for materials to invent a new game combining snowboarding, motorbiking, and flying, embodying the spirit of the Cosmic Carnival's adventure-filled games perfectly. As evening fell over Mongolia, Dean couldn't help but feel contented. Despite being far from Earth's familiar pastimes or Tokyo's bustling streets, he knew that this unfamiliar world had given him a thrilling experience like no other.
Habito added another tale in his ongoing saga while grilling honey-soaked steaks at the Bear BBQ. So after zooming through alien landscapes on my motorbike kart racer, I stumbled upon a peculiar golf course filled with creature-filled holes. Can you believe it?
Friday took a deep breath and struck a dramatic pose. Feather flow yoga meets the cosmic carnival, she declared. With her sword at her side, she joined Dean, Habito and Begully in crafting their extraordinary game. Fueled by eclair energy, they designed contraptions combining snowboarding, motorbiking and flying, embodying the carnival's adventurous spirit perfectly.
As night descended over Mongolia's wintry playground, the hint of excitement laced the air. With their concoction of wacky games infused with eclair energy and wild stunts, Friday and co had managed to turn the Cosmic Carnival into an adventure-packed event unlike anything Earth or its neighboring galaxies could offer. Dean, feeling more invigorated than ever before, couldn't help but take a moment to bask in the glow of this extraordinary experience that he would forever carry with him.
Begully had never felt so alive. His energy levels skyrocketed after sampling one too many eclair-powered snacks at the Cosmic Carnival's evening event. As the crowd cheered on in anticipation of Dean's next snowboard-shaped pizza throw, Begully couldn't help but challenge his friends to a friendly game of ant battle moves inspired by Tokyo's local athletes. His quirky style and unbridled enthusiasm had everyone laughing, enjoying these moments filled with excitement, thrill, and the spirit of adventure that this alien-themed mini-golf course encapsulated perfectly. With each wild idea he shared or every protein shake he concocted, his catchphrase echoed through the night: work hard, snack hard.
Friday stepped forward, her heart pounding with anticipation. She raised her sword high above her head, and let out a fierce battle cry that echoed across the Cosmic Carnival's entrance. As she charged towards the grand entrance of this peculiar golf course, Friday couldn't help but think about how much it reminded her of home, her beloved fields in southern France where her dramatic poses and feather flow yoga had started. But now stood before an unfamiliar world, teeming with alien landscapes and unknown adventures. The adrenaline was pumping through her veins as she took on the carnival games one after another, each challenge met with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Yet, Friday felt invincible. Even her Rubik's Cube solving skills were put to test in this wild adventure. As she moved forward towards victory, the sound of a high-pitched giggle caught her attention, a familiar tune from the Cosmic Carnival. But it was no laughing matter. It signaled an impending attack by peculiar alien creatures that could only be countered with precision and speed. Friday raised her sword once more, ready to take on this whirlwind of chaos like the fierce warrior she knew she was.
As Friday prepared for battle, Dean landed gracefully from his snowboard and joined her side with a confident grin. "Let's do this," he said, holding up his trusty pizza-shaped board. With a mix of excitement and trepidation in their veins, they charged forward into the heart of the Cosmic Carnival's adventure-packed event, ready to face whatever strange creatures or challenges came their way.
Begully bounced with enthusiasm at Friday's call to action. "This is it. The ultimate workout," he exclaimed, brandishing his protein shake container like a weapon. His energy fueled by eclair power, he eagerly joined the fray in Tokyo's bustling streets. What bizarre creatures would they encounter next?
Habito couldn't resist joining his friends on this wild adventure through unfamiliar terrain. As a seasoned biker from Mongolia's rugged mountains, he brought his trusty motorbike and a heart full of courage. Thrilled by the adrenaline-pumping action, Habito added his own unique flavor to the mix with an impromptu song about their cosmic journey. The crowd cheered in anticipation as they launched into this new challenge.
Begully's heart pounded like a Rubik's Cube being solved at lightning speed as he raced through Tokyo streets on his trusty motorbike. His veins filled with adrenaline and excitement, he couldn't help but grin widely at the chaos around him. Suddenly, something caught Begully's eye amidst the whirlwind of Friday and Company's adventure-packed event, an alien-themed mini-golf course. He veered off towards it on a wave of eclair energy.
In an unexpected turn, while practicing dramatic poses in front of a barn mirror in southern France, Friday discovered her sword. With a passion for drama and pastries alike, she declared boldly that a warrior must fuel with eclairs. Her laughter-filled, feather-flow yoga sessions often led to spontaneous monologues about her heroic life. Every swing is a chance to shine.
Habito let out a hearty laugh and revved his motorbike as he heard Friday's declaration over the sound of the bike's engine. I'm all for fueling with eclairs, but do these alien creatures know how to play miniature golf? He joked, adjusting his grip on the handlebars. Fueled by their shared love for adventure and eclair energy, Habito and Friday raced towards the peculiar golf course together. Amidst a crowd of onlookers cheering them on, they tackled each hole with skillful precision and speed, even as strange alien creatures popped up around every corner. But just when it seemed like victory was within their grasp, well, let's just say Mongolia's seasoned biker never backed down from a challenge. With a whirlwind of courage and adrenaline-pumping action, Habito proved that he could handle anything Earth or neighboring galaxies threw at him. And so the night went on, filled with laughter, eclair-powered snacks, and an ongoing saga of heroic tales from our daring duo. As they basked in the glow of the Cosmic Carnival's evening event, their muscles sore but hearts full. Who knows what future adventures awaited them? Only time would tell.
Friday couldn't help but grin at Mongolia's boldness. Her heart raced with anticipation of Dean's next move. As she surveyed the crowd gathered around them, her eyes caught Begully's gaze, a hint of excitement in his usually calm demeanor. Fueled by eclair energy and their spirited competition, they all eagerly awaited the turn of events on this wild and adventurous night. Zut alors.
Begully's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as he watched Mongolia navigate the peculiar golf course. His Rubik cube-solving skills were put to the test in Tokyo's bustling streets, but lightning speed had him whizzing past obstacles like a seasoned biker on his trusty motorbike. The adrenaline rush was invigorating, and it fueled an impromptu song about eclairs and pastries alike. A sound of laughter erupted around them as he belted out the tune with infectious vigor.